Looks like we've got another county office over here. This is a public service. Human Services. Hey. Yeah, sure. Can you just tell me a little bit about the services you provide here? What kind of services do you provide?
Electric, rental services.
Electric and rental services? To veterans?
Veterans is the difference. He can tell you about the veteran services. Are you a veteran?
What's that? No, I'm just curious what goes on in this office, and the sign here says veterans this way and human services that way, so
Two offices in one.
I gotcha.
So, I mean, we help veterans with claims for compensation. So if they were injured in the military and they got proof of this injury that they had in service, we could help them file for compensation.
So this is like a layer on top of VA services?
No, we're not VA, so I'm a county employee. I'm a veteran advocate. So I help veterans to file for their claims before the VA. So I do deal with the VA, but I'm not VA at all. No affiliation.
Okay, so a veteran comes, what would bring a veteran here as opposed to a veteran going directly to the VA?
The VA would not help. Okay, the only way, like, veterans can submit their own claims, okay? Their own claims. The VA doesn't assist a veteran in filing claims.
Okay.
Because it'll be like your insurance company, you get into an accident and before you know it, they're already filing a claim, you know it. You gotta call the insurance.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So the veteran is the one that files. He could either hire a lawyer to help him do the claim, or he could do it himself, or he could come to an organization like us that's ran by the county and the state, and the county pays for our training to help veterans fill out their claim forms and basically all the appeal processes. If a veteran gets denied something that, say for instance, he hurt his back in service and they deny him, but we have proved that they're wrong for denying him and we need to go before a judge, we would do that too.
So your whole purpose is veterans advocacy?
Yeah, that, and there should be, if you go here, come over that, there's a brochure over here. Yeah, right here, bro.
Cool.
Yeah. So these are all the services we provide, yeah. And so what it is, so right now at 4 p.m., this is like my what do they call that? Like where I do my stats and I enter all my documents, because at the end of the day, I have to send all that to the VA. So usually, you know, between 4 to 5, I stop seeing people. So I normally see people 8 to 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And so, you know, between 3:30, that's when that'll be like my cutoff time to see people, because all the work that I did for that day, I have to then now submit it, do case notes.
So like as an advocacy arm for veterans, how do veterans find out about this service that's available to them?
Yeah, so we have, so I just want to understand something. I see the camera. So I'm not allowed to speak about my job. We have somebody that deals with all the PR. I can give you my boss's information.
You can you can do that. I mean, you're doing a great
right,
job.
But I don't know. Like, are you working for like is this gonna be in the news or anything like that? Because if it is, I just have to let my boss know.
Yeah, yes. Technically, I'm working on matters of public interest.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even know this office was here, so. It's not too it's not too strange to think maybe veterans don't know that your office is here either.
No, they do know. They do know because we're plugged into the community. I mean, we're county employees, so anytime that any services that we're part of human services. So so wherever the state is or the county has an office where they're doing human services, we're there. So you know what I'm saying? Like she was telling you, they do the rent assistance next door and stuff. So like we're there, we're already an established agency. So I mean, today I saw 10 people. The day before I saw 17. If you go to Daytona, they're seeing 40 to 50 people a day. So the veterans know that we're here because VSOs have been around since I believe the 50s or 60s. Okay. So it's common knowledge, rarely is it the case. Where we run into issues where veterans don't know about services is your really older veterans, people, struggling with like Alzheimer's, like with terminal illnesses that may not have a lot of living relatives. So we have one of our supervisors, he does our outreach. He also goes on the radio and gives, all the radio stations, goes out there, does Q&A. So he's the guy that, if you want to know like our entire structure and how they do that, he would be the one to tell you that. His name is Scott Olson.
Okay.
And I could give you his information.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
But like I said, so he goes to the assisted livings throughout the whole, central area, and most VSOs have someone like him. So every county has VSO, Veteran Service offices, in all states in the whole country.
Okay,
so,
well, that's great.
But I understand what you mean as far as like there are people that may not know either, because I get people here coming from these, I talked to somebody that works for this, and then I'm like, I've never heard of that. So I go and Google, and I'm like, these are all attorneys, and I'm like, how much are they charging you?
They're doing the same thing,
yeah,
the same service that you're providing for free.
Yeah, but they're actually taking veteran monies. That boils my skin a little bit, because I'm just like,
yeah, it boils my skin too.
It's like, you're a veteran. Most veterans that are VSOs are veterans themselves. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get into this job field unless you serve during an active war period. So they do a real stringent job, and the people and quality of veterans they put in these positions. Because just the other day, I helped a widow, and she felt like I saved her life, but no, I really just honor her husband by taking care of the widow.
Yeah, I like you, man.
She showed up with money. And I told her, no, man, I can't take your money.
I get a paycheck.
Because you putting me in a situation where I could get fired. And then when I explained to her like that, okay. That very next day, she came in with a pot of Filipino food. And I just, offered it to everybody in the office.
Yeah, Filipino food you can eat, right?
Yeah.
You just can't take cash.
Yeah, so, because that's like that. I hate the predatory assholes out there.
Yeah, man.
That, hey, we'll take 40% if we win your case. And so this other widow, who had a situation where, her husband was working an attorney. So when a veteran dies, if he has a claim still active, the widow can, take over. And essentially, if it goes all the way through and any money's owed to the veteran, it goes to the widow. So it's very important as a VSO that we do that. That, every widow
they're entitled to it.
Did he have something pending? Yes. Okay. Well, he has something pending. Well, so here's what happens. So in order for me to help a veteran, I have to do power of attorney, because the VA will only allow one agency to help a veteran at a time. So the veteran can break power of attorney with any agency that he's with, except when you're an attorney, the attorney has to give you a letter saying that, your business with me is done and you don't owe us money. There's nothing, holding us. So then I can get that and accept power of attorney and send it to the VA. That's the only way I can represent somebody being represented by an attorney. You have to have that letter saying that you don't have business with that person, because if you owe them money, I can't help you. And the VA won't let you change until you figure out the business with the attorney.
Wow.
It's just because of the laws, when you sign contracts with attorney that you're going to pay them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't break that, So long story short, this is not the case with this widow. She has her husband passed, so now she comes here, hey, can I submit for this benefit? Absolutely. So the benefit would be she gets money for the rest of her life. She gets her medical benefits, and she gets to keep a tax exemption on her house that her husband was getting. That's big benefits, don't you think?
Yeah.
The lawyer told her.
She probably depends on that stuff too.
So the lawyer told her, no, I can't do that because I only work with this. And she can't bring power of attorney with him because that case has been there for 5-6 years. So she's probably looking at some good money. You get what I'm saying? So, and she's sitting here and I'm just like boiling. So you basically denying the widow. How are you doing justice by the veteran that you're supporting, right?
Yeah.
He just died, and his widow, which was the woman of his life, you're basically telling her, I'm not going to help you feed yourself.
Yeah, it's messed up.
So what I did is, I told her, I can't help you, but if you want, she brought her son, and I just basically give him a little quick rundown of where what goes, because it was pretty easy for her. Her husband died due to Agent Orange, so no matter what, she's gonna get money. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just highlighted, this is how we'll fill it out, and then fax it here. But I can't do it
until she can separate herself from her attorney. Wow.
Yeah. So, but she got everything set up. It was a standard process. You know what I mean? It's just more about filling in the correct boxes on the application. And I basically highlight it for them because I'm not authorized to do business with them. But if someone's coming in for educational purposes and, hey man, how do you fill out this form? I can't turn them away. And he was just asking me questions. What do I put here? What do I put there? And I told him the information. And so she's got her benefits. So sometimes, you see what I'm saying, that's the issue that I have with, outside agencies, outside of the county, that it's all about this. It's not really about the work. I'm like, bro, this is an honorable job.
Yeah, I can't think of a more honorable job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man, you got all these guys coming in here and, it's just, they're like cash cows.
Yeah, I think a vet commits suicide every 60 seconds.
I don't know what the actual, but I would believe something. I know that what I know is most vets from my generation, they were considered like on a 5-year program. There's like, how, like, what do they call it? Conspiracy theories, or like, because we went to war and we have PTSD, they say that the most likelihood of suicide or ending yourself will be within that first 5 years of getting out. So that's what one of the statistics was. So they were saying if you make it over the 5-year hurdle, then the statistics drop drastically. In other words.
So that's the way to separate that metric.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, so I remember me and my friend, like, texting each other, hey man, we made the 5-year mark.
Oh, jeez.
I guess.
Well, at least you guys have good senses of humor about it.
Yeah. We made it. We did it, dude. Woo! Of course, life still gets harder.
Yeah.
Your body deteriorates more, but.
So how long have you been doing this?
About a year.
Okay.
About a year. Yeah, but let me get you my boss.
Yeah,
but
right.
Definitely get with Scott Olson because he would be interested.
That's the PIO, or that's.
He's the guy that can speak.
Oh, he's the community outreach person.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love. I'd love to get. The more exposure, the better.
My Scott Olson, like I said, so he does a lot of radio shows and stuff. And so he could give you all the outreach information that you're looking for because here's my thing in general. Anything that gets the word out is helpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
were saying. I had one guy yesterday, similar issue. He's like, man, I didn't know I could get help for free. And I'm just like sitting here like, it has to be a multifaceted outreach if we want to get the word out too, especially Florida has such a vast growing population too.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Lewis.
Foshin.
I'm sorry?
Foshin.
And where do you work for?
What's that?
Where do you work
well, I'm an independent journalist, so.
You said Foshin?
Foshin.
Okay. Yeah, but he would be your best person, man.
I'll reach out to him. I appreciate that. And I already forgot it. One more. Luis.
Yeah.
Luis. Great to meet you, Luis. Thank you very much. Yeah, Luis was he was awesome. And he works for Veterans Services here in Orange City. So I didn't know any of that stuff. That there was an advocacy arm for veterans to help them with claims. So it's all very interesting. We're out here today to ensure our constitutional rights are respected by those that swore an oath to support, protect, and defend the rights of the people. The purpose of all interactions is to peacefully promote government accountability and transparency. This is a public service.